Imagine you leave your family for a short trip. You tell your wife and your little granddaughter, "I will be back soon." But you get stuck far away for 3 long years. Finally, you sail back. You run to your house, your heart pounding with excitement. But the house is gone. Your family is gone. Every single person in the town is missing. There are no bodies. There are no graves. Just one strange word carved into a tree, Croatoan. This really happened in the year 1590. And for over 400 years, we've all been asking, why? What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Today, we finally have new clues that could solve this centuries-old mystery. This is the full story. In the late 1500s, England was a small island nation with big ambitions. Queen Elizabeth I wanted a piece of the New World, the vast, unexplored continent of America. She chose a brave and charismatic man, Sir Walter Raleigh, to find the perfect spot for a new English colony. He picked Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. On the surface, it looked like a paradise. Lush green trees, crystal clear blue water, and an abundance of fish. It seemed perfect. But the first attempts at colonization were a disaster. The first groups of men who went there were soldiers, not farmers. They didn't know how to grow their own food and quickly ran out of supplies. Worse, they were arrogant and aggressive and ended up fighting with the local Native American tribes. Unsurprisingly, these first attempts failed and the soldiers went home defeated. Then, in 1587, England decided to try again. This time, they learned from their mistakes. They sent not just soldiers but entire families. 115 men, women and children set sail, dreaming of building a new life, a New England in America. Their leader was an artist named John White. He was also a grandfather. Soon after they arrived, something truly wonderful happened. John White's daughter, Eleanor, gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Virginia Dare. She was the first English child born in the New World, a symbol of hope for this new community. But that hope didn't last long. The settlers' supplies began to run dangerously low. They were hungry, and the local tribes were still angry and mistrustful after their bad experiences with the earlier soldiers. Fear started to creep into the small settlement. The settlers gathered and begged their leader, John White, to go back to England. "Bring us food. Bring us help. Bring us more people," they pleaded. White was torn. He didn't want to leave his family, especially his newborn granddaughter, Virginia. But he knew they were right. He was their only hope. Before he left, he gave them a specific instruction. He told them, "If you are forced to move while I am gone, carve the name of the place you are going on a tree." He added one more thing. "If you are in danger, if you are forced to leave under attack, carve a Maltese cross above the name." So John White sailed for England, promising a quick return. But when he arrived, he was met with terrible news. A massive war had broken out between England and Spain. The legendary Spanish Armada was preparing to attack. In response, Queen Elizabeth declared a state of emergency. She commanded, "No ships can leave England. We need every single one for the war." John White was devastated. He was trapped. He could only watch the calendar as the days turned into weeks, the weeks into months. 1 year passed, then 2, then 3 long, agonizing years. He was stuck on the other side of the world, helpless, haunted by the thought of his family and the other colonists starving on that isolated island. Finally, in August of 1590, the war with Spain ended. White frantically found a ship and began the desperate journey back to Roanoke. As his ship approached the island, he ordered a trumpeter to blow a loud blast. He and his sailors sang old English songs at the top of their lungs, hoping the familiar sounds would carry through the trees and signal their arrival to the colonists. But the only answer was silence, an eerie, unnerving silence. White stepped onto the shore, his stomach churning with dread. He walked towards the settlement. The grass was overgrown, standing tall and wild. He saw that the houses weren't burned down or destroyed. Instead, they had been carefully taken apart, piece by piece, plank by plank. This was strange. It suggested the people had time to leave peacefully. They weren't attacked suddenly in the middle of the night. It looked like an organized departure. And then he saw it. Carved into a thick wooden post at the entrance of the dismantled fort were 5 capital letters, CROTO. and on a nearby tree, he found the full word Croatoan. His mind raced. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, home to a tribe of Native Americans who had been friendly to the settlers. He frantically looked for the danger signal, the cross he had told them to carve. There was no cross. A wave of relief washed over him. They weren't in danger. They must have moved to Croatoan Island to live with the friendly tribe. He had to get to them, but just as he was preparing to sail south, the sky turned black. A massive storm, a true hurricane, descended upon them. The ship's anchors were lost to the violent sea. The sailors, terrified, told White, "We must leave now or we will all die." They were forced to abandon the search and sail back to England. John White would never see his family again. He died years later, a broken man, never knowing what truly happened to his daughter, his granddaughter, and the 115 souls of the lost colony. For hundreds of years, that's where the story ended. A heartbreaking mystery with no resolution. But recently, something truly shocking happened at a museum in London. Scientists were examining an old map of the area, a map drawn by John White himself. They noticed two small, unusual patches of paper stuck onto the map, as if hiding something underneath. Using advanced imaging technology like special X-ray lights, they were able to see through the patches, and what they found made their jaws drop. Under one of the patches was a symbol for a fort, but this fort wasn't on Roanoke Island. It was located 50 miles inland, hidden deep in the forest. Why would John White hide this location on his own map? Was he trying to protect a secret backup plan from Spanish spies who might capture his ship? This discovery suggested the settlers might have had a plan B, to move deep into the mainland, away from the coast, away from danger. And there's more. In the years that followed, later explorers who ventured into that exact inland area encountered Native American tribes, and they noticed something peculiar. Some of the tribe members had features not typical of Native Americans at the time. They had blue eyes, some had gray eyes, and they told strange stories passed down through generations of ancestors who could talk out of a book, meaning they knew how to read and write. Today, the investigation continues. Scientists are using modern DNA testing to compare genetic material from descendants of those tribes with the known DNA of the lost settlers' families back in England. They are looking for a match, for definitive proof. The 400-year-old mystery is finally starting to clear. The colonists didn't just vanish into thin air. It seems they assimilated. They became part of a new community, a new family. They survived. The story of Roanoke is a tragedy, yes, but it may also be one of the greatest survival stories in American history. Faced with an impossible choice, stay on the island and starve, or adapt and live, the 115 men, women and children of the lost colony chose to live. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries, please subscribe to Age of Stories. We have new videos every day exploring the incredible secrets of the USA and Canada. Coming up next, the shocking hidden room discovered inside the Statue of Liberty. Thanks for watching. History is full of amazing stories, don't let them be forgotten.